from looking at the video, it appeared to have hit him on the left side of the head, either just in front of or on his ear. And the news report showed that he had a contusion and a laceration of his ear. So I know it hit him right in this area. So when I saw the injury, actually on video last night, I thought that he was going to suffer a skull fracture when actually he's actually already been dismissed from the hospital. There's no skull fracture. There was a contusion and a laceration of his ear. But there was a Major League ball player hit, Brandon McCarthy, in the exact same place, or presumably a spot near there, just last September, who did have a skull fracture and had what's called an epidural hematoma. The reason for that is the skull in that area, which is down in front of the ear, is the thinnest part of the skull. I mean, it is very, very thin, and so an injury in that area can very likely produce a fracture. It's right above the temporal lobe, and it can be very severe. Natalie Richardson, an actress who was the wife of Liam Neeson, died of a similar injury when she fell really on a bunny slope and fractured that part of her skull, developing this epidural hematoma. I've seen patients with golf balls struck in that area that have fractured the skull. So it's a real hazardous spot, and one that's not protected, certainly in a pitcher that gets a ball hit at over 100 miles per hour right back at it. This is the thin part of the skull right in here. And I suspect it probably bounced off that. The ear sits right here, so if you got an ear cut, it must have hit him right in that area. He's incredibly lucky. There have been 4 of these incidents in the last 4 months of Major League play. There was an 18-year-old college student who was killed in Montana a number of years ago, and there was a lawsuit about the bat, because in college and semi-pro ball, aluminum bats can be used, so the ball comes off the aluminum bats with a lot more kick than it does off the wooden bats, and the question is, do pitchers have a chance to get out of the way? So it is, we know, a very dangerous possibility, something that can kill people. The reaction time is only so much. I mean, you have 60 feet 6 inches in Major League Baseball between home plate and the pitcher, and a ball coming at over 100 miles per hour, you only have so much time to react. There have been pitchers who've obviously had fractures of their orbits and their face, and now skull fractures, glasses broken. So that really cannot be diminished. What could be done is some sort of protection for the head or for the skull. And the Major League Baseball has been evaluating a number of devices made of Kevlar, for instance, like a cap liner, some of the military-grade Kevlar protection for body armor, and these would be placed either inside or on the outside of the baseball cap. The problem with those are that they don't extend far enough down to where these fractures happen most of the time. This very thin part of the skull right here is an area that's unprotected by a baseball cap. That's why batting helmets that people wear do come down over the ear and protect that. Right here is where it's very thin, so it's in this area. The ear is right here. This is the kind of protective cheekbone, and it may be that the ball glanced off of that. But in the pitcher that was injured last year, this is the exact spot that was fractured, which is below, a baseball cap is going to come to right here. It's not going to come down and protect that. So, it is really a quandary. I'm sure Major League Baseball has put a lot of thought into this, and this particular incident is going to make them start thinking about having something come around to protect pitchers even more. Now, I don't exactly know where he was hit, but I can surmise from the reports that there was an ear laceration that he was hit, and I saw the films. He had pitched and turned his head to the right and got smacked right here. That is really among the worst places you could be hit in the skull, and the reason for that is the skull is just so thin. Everywhere else, the skull can be up to a centimeter or two, or a centimeter and a half thick. In this area, we're down to a few millimeters. It doesn't take, a heavy punch to just fracture the skull right there. If the ball glanced off of that, it saved him a fracture, in this area of the brain. I have seen the evidence, and the evidence is mounting that even multiple sort of non-serious, injuries or hits is developing into signs of permanent brain damage in some people. And it's very compelling evidence, and I would say that it's all about risk-taking. I mean, there are pitchers who, after this incident last night, have gone on record as saying, hey, it's a risk in the game. We know it's a risk. We take that risk. Some of us are willing to take it. There's no question that, yes, we are trying to protect people, but in doing so, you're going to be removing some of the, the more, what do I want to say, strong or the more vigorous portions of the game. That Major League Baseball is no stranger to head injuries and to instituting measures to protect people from head injuries. There were no baseball helmets back in the day. I just saw the film 42 a couple of weeks ago, and you see Jackie Robinson up there getting thrown at, throwing at his head, and there were no helmets. You can't believe that, years ago people didn't wear helmets when they were up to bat. So of course people are now wearing helmets that protect them over the ear. A few years ago, 2008, there was a minor league third base coach that was killed, again, with a batted ball because third base coaches just wore regular old baseball caps, but now Major League Baseball requires them to wear helmets. So there have been a number of instances in the past where they've instituted changes to protect people from head injuries in baseball.